As you are all aware that the National Executive Committee of the ANC met in a special meeting, which started in the evening of the 6th, continued on the 7th, and finalized its business today, the 9th of January, 2014, at Nutting House Lodge here in Bombela, Mpumalanga. This was the first NEC meeting in 2014 and was convened specifically to assess the organization's state of readiness for the 102nd anniversary celebration of the ANC and look into the general elections manifesto, which will be launched over the weekend. The NEC considered and approved the ANC election manifesto, and this was a culmination of a long process of consultation with our people throughout the length and breadth of our country. This engagement allowed our people to tell the ANC what they want the government to concentrate on and further improving their lives over the next 5 years. So that's why we had manifesto forums all over the country. We didn't want to lock ourselves in a room and take decisions and draft a manifesto. This People's Manifesto will be unveiled on Friday and be formally launched at the rally on Saturday. The NEC also approved the January 8th statement. As you all know that the January 8th statement of the NEC is delivered by the President in the rally on Saturday the 11th. And that statement will be issuing marching orders, and it will be a clarion call on all the cadres and members of the ANC for the coming year. It has reviewed the challenge and success of the current period. Since this is an election year, the January 8th statement will draw heavily on the 2014 election manifesto. So there will be quite a visible and a big overlap between the manifesto and the January 8th statement. The National Executive Committee also received a briefing on the interministerial task team, a report on the security upgrades in Nkandla. The NEC accepted this report as a factual representation of what has transpired in the course of the state fulfilling its responsibility to ensure the security and protection of the President of the Republic. This report further provides us with the information required in order for the ANC to deal with the matter. The NEC appreciates the important distinction that has been established between what has been spent on government infrastructure to boost rural development in the area and what was spent on the personal homestead of the President. We're making this distinction because we have been bombarded with a universal number of what has been spent in Nkandla without making the distinction between what has been spent on the homestead and what has been spent by the state, which will never accrue to the property of the Zuma family. This report helps us understand the distinction. The NEC, however, remains concerned about the amount spent during the Nkandla security upgrade. We have thus called for the recommendation from the report to be implemented with the necessary speed. Among these recommendations is that anybody who is guilty of having received money wrongfully and possibly corruptly during the security upgrade project must be pursued criminally, and all the monies misappropriated must be recouped from the civil servants and the contractors. Those who will believe that they are scapegoats because they will want to say they acted on directive of certain political principles have the responsibility to disclose who those political principles are. So we're making this point to demystify this issue every time a civil servant has committed a transgression. Once you pursue that civil servant, the talk becomes that civil servant is a scapegoat. Therefore, look for some imaginary political principle behind that scapegoat. We say that scapegoat has a responsibility to say, no, I was working on the instruction of a political principle that is identifiable, so and so. So we can't be wish hunting and looking for some political principle that is not mentioned anywhere in the report. Now, the general tendency of inflating prices in major infrastructure projects undertaken by the Department of Public Works is a major concern to the National Executive Committee and must be dealt with holistically. And this report on the security upgrades at President Zuma's homestead in Nkandla will now be disseminated to the structures of the African National Congress for them to also engage with the issue as presented as we await the long-anticipated release of the Public Protector's report on the same matter. Now, we're linking the two because our understanding is that these two state institutions must be reading from the same set of facts. And if there are the divergent determinations made and findings, it's an issue that will be of interest and we'll have to interrogate that divergence. But the set of facts should be the same. If there is a difference in set of facts, then it will require us to interrogate the reports further. That is the point we're making. Now, the African National Congress is ready for the 102nd anniversary celebration and manifesto launch. That will take place this weekend. We have already begun receiving many of our guests, and 2 accreditation centers have been set up at the Kruger International Airport and Lowveld Agricultural College, the future University of Mpumalanga, for those that shall need accreditation. On Friday, the 10th January, the President of the ANC will unveil the 2014 election manifesto to be launched at the rally at a gala dinner at the church on the hill in Bombela. The dinner will be attended by over 1,200 people drawn from faith-based sector, traditional leadership, ambassadors, business, media, civil society, and creative sector. The allies and leagues of the ANC are part of the host of hosting the celebration. All major broadcasters in the country will also broadcast the unveiling of the manifesto live. The African National Congress is confident that we shall fill the capacity of the stadium, which is 53,000 sitting people, on the 11th of January. We have made provision for 4 overflow areas and open public viewing facilities. To date, just over 1,000 buses have been confirmed to be ferrying supporters from the ANC to the stadium, of the ANC to the stadium. The stadium gates will be open at 6:30, and cultural component of the program will kick off at 8:30. The formal part of the program will be addressed by the President of the ANC, President Jacob Zuma, starting at 10 a.m. Among the entertainment that has been secured are idol winners and runner-up from Mpumalanga, Musa and Brandon, Zahara's Fiso Ngwane, Iashelim Klope, among many others that will be here. The ANC has been encouraged by the reception of the ANC leadership in various parts of the province during the build-up activities. We are therefore confident that the province and the people of the country will come in their numbers to celebrate with the ANC and listen to the President as he launches our manifesto for the 2014 elections. That is the end of the statement.
You deserve to know more.
eNCA.com